All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Harakakwadash, and double honors unto the elders and apostles of GMS Great Millstone, and a sincere Shalom to you, Akim, bringing out this word in diligence and in truth. And now, this article is from the BBC, and it reads, Why Americans' YOLO spending spree baffles economists. Because ultimately, we're at the end of this age, man. We have a few prophecies left until Yahweh Shai returns with the host of heaven and the chariots, to bring forth the destruction upon this place, man. And understanding that the American dollar can only be stretched so far, being that it's losing its value every day. The economy is suffering, which means the dollar that you had 10 years ago is extremely weak compared to the dollar that you have today. So Americans are using their money just in terms to ease their troubles, man. Right? And we're going to get into that. It says, despite past trends, U.S. consumers are spending at record levels, right? Economists are mystified and struggling to forecast an endpoint. Throughout a period of sky-high interest rates, depleted savings, and grinding inflations, Americans have spent with abandon. On Black Friday, sales at brick-and-mortar stores were up 1.1% from last year alone. Online alone, U.S. shoppers spent a record $9.8 billion online alone. Consumers spent another $12.4 billion on Cyber Monday, an eye-popping 9.6% increase over last year. This holiday splurge follows a pattern of U.S. consumer spending, which has buoyed the American economy in the past year, making up nearly 70% of the real GDP's 4.9 Q3 growth. While some of the spending reflects the rising cost of necessities, right, because understanding that your everyday necessities are growing in price. Ultimately, and that's because Esau is destroying the supply chain market, whether it be, your proteins of your meats. And we understand that Esau has euthanized the livestock, the chicken, so forth and so on, along with, your produce, such as your onions, potatoes, your leafy greens, so forth and so on. Those have gone up as well, because Esau has destroyed, these fields in which these producers are planted on, man. And Bill Gates has bought up a lot of that farmland and has these crops turned to GMO or worse GMO crops, man. It says, while some of the spending reflects the rising cost of necessities, Americans are still buying big ticket items and laying out tons of cash for experiences, right? And this is all to appease their mind of the destruction and the trouble that they're going through, man, right? It says this YOLO attitude. YOLO means you only live once, which that's a false doctrine. It says attitude towards money bucks, the spending trends of past economic downturns, and some economists have been left scratching their heads, especially as consumer sentiment over the economy remains overwhelmingly pessimistic. If 18 months ago you would have said the Federal Reserve Bank could raise interest rates by 500 basis points and the consumer would chug on relatively unfazed, I would have been extremely surprised. I have said that's just not how economics work. Typically, after a major crisis or job market downshift, the economy generally experiences a small bump in both consumer savings and spending, right? It says much of that growth is due to an unprecedented increase of accumulated savings in U.S. households, driven by the U.S. federal government's swift fiscal response to the pandemic. Stimulus packages that directly introduced $5 trillion into the U.S. economy, combined with other indirect policies, including eviction moratoriums and the suspension of student loan payments, saved Americans about $2.3 trillion in 2020 and 2021. Although this year people have drawn down their savings, many consumers still have money in their reserves, some for the first time ever, and they're willing to spend it now, even as they don't have faith in full economic rebound. Meaning what? They know that this place is going to go to shit. It says this sustained period of you only live once as spending amid rising debt and dwindling savings have confounded many economists, right? So you would think that in a failing economy, when everyone knows that it's ultimately going to fail, people would save their money or keep save it and keep it for rainy days, or spend it to gather what they need in order to persevere through the times, man. But really, we're seeing it, or they're seeing it, be spent on BS, or just spent to get their mind out of the trouble that they're going through. That's why the scripture speaks about wine, right? Wine is used for man. The man uses to what, ease them out of the hell that they're going through. Hey, but in these times, it's used for that. But also, is going to, matter of fact, I'm gonna grab it out of the book of Isaiah 24th chapter. Right? This is Isaiah 24. And I'll start here at 8. It says, the mirth of tabrets ceaseth, the noise of them that rejoice endeth, the joy of the harp ceaseth. Right? That same sentiment that Babylon had 10 years ago, prosperity, of good times. Hey, that's going out of the window. It says, they shall not drink wine with a song. Strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it. Right? So that wine that we were just speaking of, it was used as a tool or a medium to help cope with the pain. Hey, but now is going to be opposite for him, man. It's going to be seen. Hey, because another thing as well, and this happened about a year and a half, 2 years ago, there was a shortage of wine because I believe some vineyards in California, they ended up catching on fire, or the crop itself was soiled, man. So the prices of wine and also tequila in Mexico, because agave, basically I believe it was a dry season in New Mexico, so a lot of the agave was destroyed. So not being able to receive that wine was also a detriment unto the people. On top of that, the spiritual significance of wine is what? Doctrine, right? And understanding what the scripture speaks about in Amos 8 and 11, there's going to be a crying for wine in the streets, and that's not the famine of bread, but a famine of the word. It says, the city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up that no man may come in. There's a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. So they're trying to, use whatever money they have to create new experiences to cope with the hell that they're facing, man. Right? And this is because of this scripture here in Jeremiah 51. And I'll start at 7. It says, Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord's hand. Right? It once benefited from all the wickedness. It says, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad. And that's plain. These nations have received benefits in drinking the Babylonian wine, in taking up the image of the beast. They've received economic benefits along with multiple other things. It says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her pain. If so be she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go every one into his own country. For her judgment reacheth unto the heaven and is lifted up even to the skies, man. Right? So getting back to this article here, it says, leading the charge on this YOLO spending. Now, another thing that this article, highlights is the fact of these holidays, because it spoke about Black Friday. And, in the wintertime, they have the most holidays. What you have your Christmas, you have your Thanksgiving, you have your Black Friday, you have New Year's, you got your Valentine's Day, that's the in February. And then you start getting back into your spring, around March, April, May, But nevertheless, this is a time when the spending of the public or the consumers rises, It says, leading the charge on the YOLO spendings and the spirit, because through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai and understanding, we're not even supposed to be indulged within these holidays like these people, man. So all the spending that you once did, before Yahweh Shem Shai had the clean spirit on you, you're able to keep that money and put it towards something profitable for you and your family, man. Whatever the case may be, Yahweh Shem Shai may put, some extra cheese in your pocket for you to handle it wisely and not spend it like the rest of these people. It says, leading the charge on this YOLO spending, reports Boston Consulting Group are the younger upper middle class segments of the U.S. population. While these individuals are not necessarily affluent, they are earning enough money to meet their needs and are still able to spend on pleasure trips and luxury goods. Many of them are also leaning into using buy now, pay later platforms, which is really just credit. It's credit. Also, what they had what's the name of it? Lil Way. Call Yabashim Yashai came back to my mind. Lil Way says platforms which are experiencing major growth in the U.S., including during November's Black Friday shopping spree. So that's credit and layaway. They're using layaway as a term of credit, but also credit spending in the U.S. has increased drastically, man. And people aren't looking forward or looking forward to even paying back their credit cards, man, because they know that this is over. It says the strength of consumer spending, even after the dark days of the pandemic, has taken me by surprise. Even if the pattern doesn't follow economic precedent, however, some experts argue it makes sense intuitively. When you don't really know what the future holds, or even if there's long enough future for you, people are focusing on the present and the short-term horizon. And that's also why these people are going to end up in that as Apostle Gabar always says, they're going to end up in what's the word? Lord will it comes back. But he always says it about E, man. But they're going to end up in a position where they ultimately are trick bag. Call them Yahabashim Al Shai. In trick bag, man. And as the elder Shaquat of our camps always says, man, he said, the devil always wants his money back. So either you're going to pay Esau back now, or you're going to be hooked to this technological system, and you're going to pay with your soul, man. Right? So let's keep going. It says, when you don't really know what the future holds, or even if there's long enough future for you, people are focusing on the present and the short-term horizon. And that's the wrong way to look at it, man. Because ultimately, you being in that that sporadic spirit, or the spirit of so be it, so to speak, then you're not really preparing, which you're supposed to be preparing spiritually, for what's to happen, not the physical. Yahweh Shemi Shai is going to take care of us for all the physical needs that we need in the time coming, man. But these people have a spirit of, I need it now. It's like a microwave spirit, so you're not able to make rational decisions, because you're too focused on the moment, rather than being prepared for the long run, the long haul. Let's see. People are choosing to prioritize their happiness and fun, and that's the wrong spirit to be in. Matter of fact, I'm gonna grab this out of the book of Ecclesiastes. Oops, so like you. Ecclesiastes, not 3:7. Yeah, this is Ecclesiastes 7. And 2, it is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting, for that is the end of all men, and the living will lay it to his heart. Sorrow is better than laughter, for by the sadness of the countenance the heart is made better. The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the house of mirth. And that's right there. They're telling you what type of spirit these people are in. They're in the house of mirth rather than the house of mourning. Not understanding that everything that they're putting their spirit and energy into these days is going to be their detriment, because they didn't prepare spiritually. That's why Yahweh Shemi Shai is telling us, hey, flee out of her spiritually, man. Not to physically leave this place, but get out of that American mind state. I got to be happy now. Make irrational decisions, No, but be focused and keep your eyes on the prize, which is ultimately pleasing Yahweh Shemi Shai. Because in doing that, your soul is going to be watched over, man. So as we continue to go into this article, it's just speaking about, these people they're spending money to appease their mind, but not focused on what's actually happening before them. They don't see that they understand that their dollar isn't stretching as far, but they don't understand how great of a collapse this is going to be. Daniel 12 tells us this is going to be a time such as never was since nations were upon the earth, man. So they don't understand how drastic this is actually going to be to their life. They understand bad is happening, but they don't understand to what extent is going to happen, man. And that's why Yahweh Shemi Shai has put his men on the highways and hedges, because the scriptures tell us we have to preach unto all nations upon the earth. Preach the gospel unto all nations on the earth, and then the end shall come. So the heathen, they even have to understand, what's going to befall them, man. But this article was sent to in our chat. Read up on it, and the spirit hit me to do a lesson. So Lord willing, it was edifying. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Harakakodash. A double honors unto the elders and apostles of GMS Great Millstone, and a sincere shalom to Yakim bringing out this word in diligence and in truth. Shalom.